Hi, this is Nigel Foote coming to you from Canberra, the capital of Australia. I'm here to interview Kerry. Hi Kerry.
Hi Nigel, nice to
meet you. I'm here doing this interview for Cecilia Abraham from Delhi in India. Cecilia and I are working on a project, co-producing a project, which is a photo exhibition about Hyderabad, Secunderabad, and predominantly focused on the Anglo-Indian community there. So a little bit of a history, but also we'll touch on the present and the future for where the community is heading over there.
My family lived in Hyderabad Central, which was basically on Public Garden Road, which was very close to the Abbott's shopping centre. Our ancestral home was there. It was purchased by my great-grandfather, and that's where we lived. One of the most memorable things of my youth and childhood was in December, because it was not only my birthday, it was also Christmas time, and we had a lot of activities, particularly at church. We used to get together and go carol singing, and then I used to play in a band as a young 14-15-year-old, and we used to play for the New Year's dance and the Christmas dances, as well as we played in a contract at the Ritz Hotel. We were playing for the diners who ate there over dinner. The Anglo-Indians played a major part in Hyderabad. They were, of course, a lot of them were employed by the Nizam's government, and in my particular family, education played a big part, because my great-grandfather was not only a headmaster of St. George's, he also became the first inspector of schools. His wife was also a teacher at St. George's Girls' School, and then his two sisters taught in the girls' school as well, and they've all contributed over 80 years service in that school. And then my dad's two brothers taught in the school, as well as my mother. My mother actually studied there, she taught there, and she became headmistress. And she actually spent more than 50 years service in that school. So education was a big part. And of course there were other fields of employment in which they contributed, post and telegraphs, railways, and more so in Secunderabad, where a lot of railway community folk lived, in Lalagudda and all these sorts of places. I don't know whether Anglo-Indians in my time suffered an identity crisis. I was born post-independence, so I couldn't really answer to that respect. But as far as I'm concerned, we never had an identity crisis. We always mingled well with the Indians after the British left, and my parents never ever mentioned anything about an identity crisis in India as Anglo-Indians. I believe that second and third generation Anglo-Indians, regardless of where they live in the world, need to be educated as to their heritage and their culture. A lot of the newer Anglo-Indians, the second and third generation Anglo-Indians, I think have intermingled and mixed into the cultures they're living in now, and that they've lost that heritage of their Anglo-Indianship. So that's something I think is very important. In India itself, I believe that the Anglo-Indians still need to be representative at parliamentarian level, and I think there are still 2 seats in the Indian Parliament to give Anglo-Indians that particular recognition. I believe Anglo-Indian uniqueness, it's a unique culture, and I think it was embedded in between the British and Indian cultures. So it was another level of strata that India had for so many years, and I believe the British used the Anglo-Indians as a buffer between the Indians and themselves. In that respect, I don't think there was a problem there, because the Anglo-Indians were hardworking, and they actually brought out the best, not only in society, but they showed the British as well as the Indians how well they could work and integrate within society. Yes, I'm proud of any Anglo-Indians who have done well for themselves. I don't particularly have a hero as such, but anyone who's an Anglo-Indian who has done well for themselves in any part of any field in the world, I'm always very proud of that.